Hi, this is Tom Malloy. I've raised over $25 million for financing movies. I've produced at the time of this video 17 films. I've written 30 plus screenplays and options sold or made into movies 25 of those screenplays, and I've starred in a bunch of movies, so I'm an encyclopedia on filmmaking. Today is a video I just wanted to put out to you because I said something in another video, a previous video, and I went, oh, I should probably make a video about that. And I was talking about shooting a diner scene, right? And what I mean is two people sitting across from each other in a diner. How is that shot? All right. And so what we're going to talk about is maybe a traditional way. And now, I'm not a cameraman per se. I've never been a cameraman in films. There are DPs that can tell you a wealth more than I could. But I've been on 50 to 100 movie sets and seen things set up, and the films that I've produced, films I've started, and seen the way they were shot. And so what I want to talk about first is kind of the standard way, and then just expand on that a little bit. So what you have is you have this diner. The beginning of the scene, and again, we're assuming that there's just two people sitting across from each other at a diner on the table, and the table's in the middle of them. You're going to start with something called an establishing shot, right? Now, this could also be called the master shot. Now, the establishing shot could be the whole diner, right? You know what I mean? And you start hearing the dialogue of the two people going back and forth, and maybe you see them in the background, right? And then it might get closer, you know, it might do something that is tracking shot and it tracks into them, or it might pan across the audience and you see, you know, the whole diner ambiance, and then you get over to the table that we're talking about. And so the key is that's going to be the more wide, establish everything, right? And then you're going to start to go in a little bit tighter. Now, if that's something that you're really just establishing the beginning, and maybe, by the way, and I've seen this many times on film, you shoot the end as well, right? Because it's this big one and the camera's already there and you're already lit for that. You might start the dialogue, hey, good to see you today, blah, 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 how you been? First dialogue, and then the director say, okay, hold, let's finish it up. And then it's like, hey man, great seeing you, boom. And I'm giving you the most boring scene ever where apparently they're saying hello to each other, and then at the end they're saying goodbye to each other. You know, and then they're going to walk off. So they don't want to have to do that and then shoot all the other stuff and then relight and do that again. So what they will do is they'll capture the ending right there, and then maybe they'll walk off, or they, you know, maybe the woman throws a glass of water in the guy's face and then she storms off, right? And then so we just follow her out, right? And so we'll shoot the beginning and the end right there, okay? After that, you might go in for this kind of master shot of just them talking. I've seen it kind of behind and in front, and just more of a medium/long shot where you have them all in the frame, everybody talking in the frame. So both of them, so it's really a two shot in the frame, right? Do the whole entire scene. And that's really for coverage and cutting back and cut points and everything. Or whatever it is, you know, you got the ambience of the diner, then you go to this table and then you start the scene, and then you're going to go in tighter, and then you're going to end the scene, right? So now, after you do that whole scene, then you're going to go in to one of the actors, and you're going to do a medium, and then you're going to do a little closer, right? So it's going to be like maybe here, let's draw a box, and then the second one is going to be here, let's draw a box, right? And so then you'll do that two for that one, and then two for the other one, right? So in minimum, you're going to have 5 shots, right? Which would be your master. And let's just say, for the sake of this, that your master is part of, that initial shot is going to be the whole thing. So we're going to pan over, get the ambience of the diner, and then end here, start the scene. Then we'll go in tighter. Maybe you cut back to that master at some point, and then at the end, it ends on the master of the glass, the water in the face, and the person walking off and following them, and then you cut to another scene, right? Now, that's kind of a traditional standard way to shoot that, right? A master, medium close-up, right? 5 shots. Now, a lot of that could be mixed up and stylistically mixed up. I said in this other video, like, you know, if you're just using a camera and floating it back and forth between the two people, are you doing that as a stylistic choice, which would be great, or are you doing that because you're like, I have no idea how to do this scene, right? You could do that. You could do this kind of edgy kind of, you know, camera back and forth. And something today that's been really, I think Spielberg kind of was the one that made it the norm, is the moving master, right? Like the camera's always moving. There's always movement in the camera, even if we're on, let's just say, a medium shot, like, you know, it's here, or you know what I mean, or it's kind of floating across, and it's keeping a movement going. And there's this visceral feeling of that, and that could be for the scene, right? If the scene is very emotional and it's very serious, maybe we just want to keep it solid on sticks, meaning on a tripod, and shoot it that way. But if the scene has some visceral, like, we're getting an argument here, you know what I mean? And then it's got this kind of floaty feeling, right? So that's yours to play with. Again, I just want to kind of give you an overview. If you have no idea how to shoot a diner scene, that would be the most basic way to do it, and then you can expand on that. If you know the rules first, then you can always break them. If you want a free PDF on filmmaking, film funding, check out the link below.